teach, and when you get, give. Welcome to Conversations with Verdell Jones. I'm your host, Verdell Jones. Being an educator at heart, I am dedicated to sharing conversations that inform and enlighten in the hopes that you learn something that you did not know. And remember, in the words of Maya Angelou, when you learn, teach, and when you get, give. So I am so excited. We have a great show planned for you today, tonight, this evening, and I'm happy that so many of you are out there checking out this show. This is a new season of Conversations with Verdell Jones for 2017. We are in a new location. We're at Strong Island TV and Radio.com here on Long Island. So I'm really excited. In the show, we have a great guest here with us. I am so excited to have this guest in the house. And the thing is about the guest that we're going to bring on, it's so it's really timely, and there's a picture of her. She is beautiful, and we're going to be talking to her. So we're going to have Ms. Erica Collins is in the house, and she's going to be talking about a lot of different things. She's a Renaissance woman. She's multi-talented, multifaceted. She is a plus-size model, a beauty queen, an entrepreneur, an activist, an author. So we're going to talk about a lot of those things because she's really engaged. And one of the things that I really love is that she is here to empower women. And that is what I really love, girl power. And this is a timely discussion with so many, and you know what, we're going to talk about it. So without further ado, I want to introduce Miss Erica Collins.
So nice to be here.
Thank you. It's great to have you. Welcome. Welcome. You know, as I said, you know, one of the things that I really love about you is your ability to empower women. Everything that I saw that you've done, it's all about empowering women, and that is amazing, and it's needed. And I really want to get into, you know, your career and being a model and that confidence, because you know, women and size and what they look like, it's such a big thing. So I really want to get into that. But before we start, if you could just tell people, because I did a little snippet of some of the things you do, but who are you and how did you get to where you are? Where did you go to school? You went to George Washington. I mean, you know, you're super smart. So, you know, just a little bit. So, you know, I want people to understand that. George Washington, I'm like, wow, okay, that's really cool. So just, tell people who you are.
Actually, an interesting backstory to GW because I graduated a year early from Cherry Hill, New Jersey.
Okay.
And I went into GW. I was about 16 or 17 years old.
Oh wow. Okay.
I went into and my first year there, as far as career-wise, two things happened. The first was plus-size modeling, and I got into the lineup fairly fine. The second year I came back, they were really tough, and they had choreographers from New York there. And they were taking models out. It wasn't just the school fundraiser. Okay. So I was the only larger woman in that lineup. And the choreographer made us walk for like an hour. and finally, he says, he stops the music. And I'm thinking to myself, oh my goodness, he's going to send me out of here. And I kept pumping myself up because I'm like, well, I have an internship at NBC. So if I leave this, that's fine. So he says, stop the music, stop the music. I want everyone to watch her because she's the only diva in here who knows how to walk. Okay. And these two women from New York took me backstage, showed me how to pose. Back then we had the S. You had to turn your body a certain way, and your head a certain way. And they told me about plus-size modeling. I had never heard of it. So I went and sought information. And that really launched my career. I went to training. A lot of people claim to be Instagram famed or self-proclaimed models, but I actually went through training with the top plus model in DC. And then from her, I got the recommendation for top agents in DC. Okay. And from that, my very first show was at Macy's in Washington.
Nice. You know, and the thing is, you know, women in size, you know, some women feel insecure about that. So how do you talk to women and encourage them, no matter what color, shape, size you are, to really understand that they're beautiful and that they matter and all of that. Because there are I work with a lot of teenagers, and they're insecure about, the way they look or the size that they may be. So how do you encourage people to feel confident in that?
Well, there's two parts of it. I actually just launched Miss Curvy Confidence at
I think
Miss
we have a flyer for
Curvy, CONF on Twitter and Facebook.
Okay.
We're doing a pageant. I was Miss Plus America. I was also Miss Black Teenage World.
Okay.
And I had issues when I was Miss Black Teenage World because I was larger, and they were trying to hide the fact that I had a womanly body at that time.
Right.
So I'm launching a pageant that's really going to empower women in general. It's also going to empower young women and girls. And we're going to not just have the frills of a pageant. It's going to be totally different. It's going to be a hybrid.
Okay.
So a lot of information is going to empower them online. And my hope is that when they're done being a pageant queen, it's that they actually have a direction.
Right.
And that they actually have opportunity. So if that means empowering them with a nonprofit or empowering them with a business, we're going to start to work on those details. I have a partnership with Sexy, Wealthy, and Heels, and I'm the representative for the International Brand Ambassador in both New York City here. So if there's anyone who wants to work with us, feel free. That's at Sexy and Wealthy NYC, and I'm also in DC as well. And that group partners, and they show you how to begin to automate your business. So that's what's going to be combined.
So you're going to have the pageant piece with the business-minded piece. Okay.
And on March 29th in Washington, D.C., we will announce the state winners. Okay. And that will be also combined with the first Colors, Curves, and Confidence Conference.
Okay, so that's how this all ties together. Okay, because can you say that again? It's the curves, curves, color, confidence. And I think we have a little bit of information on that, or at least a flyer on that. The color, curves, and the flyer. Yeah, there we go. So that. And that is going to be in March in Washington, D.C.
Correct.
So let me ask you a question about the actual pageant itself. What age group is that for? So like I can't get into this pageant, right?
Actually, the pageant, yes. The age starts from 18 to 50 because the Miss America, the Miss Plus America pageant goes up to all ages.
Okay. So
when I entered, I was about 27, which put me in the Miss category.
Okay.
So we do open it up to various women.
So it's different categories.
Right.
Okay.
And within the pageant itself, I'm trying to give women as much opportunity as possible and also to lower the cost. So we will, right now we also just launched a spokesmodel unit that's just spokesmodel. So if you want to enter just to be a spokesmodel, you don't want to do the state portion, you can do that as well. So all that information is online. You can also look at my website, i-am-erica.com, kind of like iAmerica with the dashes. Okay. So that's the pageant. And colors, color, curves, and confidence came to me actually from another interview. And they kept asking me, well, how were you able to achieve this or that?
Right.
And it just... color, curves, and confidence. So I said, let me think about that a little bit more and put that really focusing on women of color, because Sexy, Wealthy, and Heels is kind of a broader
right.
So this is really going to focus on women of color, and I add the elements that empowered me. Maya Angelou poetry, music, things that I read. So all of that will be part of, quotes from Oprah and things like that. All of that will be part of Color, Curves, and Confidence. And we will talk about not only how I achieve my goals, but how other women can achieve their goals as well.
You know, one of the things when I was thinking about this, and we're thinking about the plus size model and just women with curves and that confidence. What are some tips that you can give women to look the best that they can look at all times? I'm going to give you an example. I'll put on something and I think I look good, and then I see that picture and I'm like, no, I did not wear that. So, I'm like, I should have really thought about, because as a model, what to put on that's going to look good in a picture, as opposed to myself, who I think at this camera, at this you know, in the mirror, I look okay, but on camera, it doesn't work. So, what are some tips that you could give women to try to look their best at all times?
Well, I'm going to work on your mind. I'm going to work on your mind first,
okay.
because it's very, very important. Like as I was talking about doing the runway, if you notice, one of the things I was doing subconsciously as I work at NBC,
that posture, right? Yeah, exactly.
And I didn't realize at that age that I was giving myself the confidence while I was walking, even though you were in this intense situation. And the one thing that's out right now, Business Insider just came out with a statement of 322% of African American women have increased in business ownership. 224% of Latin American women have increased in business ownership. And 70%, they like to say 67, but it's really 70% of American women are of size. So right there, you're representing the majority. So you should feel at home, when you get into any situation. And when I started reading that article, I've been playing with this thought for about almost 10 years. I was joking around with a friend of mine who has the quote trophy wife, and I said he happened to be Italian. He was white, and his wife is blonde, and I think she's Irish or Scandinavian. And I said, is it the blonde hair? So if an African American woman had blonde hair, would you still be attracted to them? And he's, went in, I'm attracted, various women, but no, it's the white, blonde-haired female. So I really started to kind of think about that for a second, and I said, this is interesting, because during the 80s and 90s, that's all you saw growing up. So everyone, not just minority women, but white women as well, have been looking to be this standard of Barbie. And that's because the media and mediated images told you that. And also the men that have grown up in those eras, that's what they believe is, quote, the trophy. But with the way the economy is, having a brainless Barbie doll, so to speak, not to offend anyone, but having that image from, the 80s and previously does not help you in your career. It's not going to be satisfying in your relationships. So I actually just wrote an article, because I'm a She Knows expert, and also write for the Blogger Network and She Knows Media. And the title is called The New American Trophy Wife. And we're really looking at the statistics of 322%, 224%. If you're going to a business meeting, it probably would behoove you to have a woman of color and of size on your shoulder, as opposed to the stereotypical blonde, Barbie doll person, or even a woman of size if you're in a different culture or what have you. But that seems to be the trend. And it seems to be the changing face of America, and we need to deprogram ourselves to realize our value. Because 322%, that is a lot of buying power. The plus size industry got on it. When it started, it was like a $31 billion industry, and the percentage of that in reference to all of fashion is huge. So people had to take notice. And if you start to work on your mind, little details like your lipstick and what you're wearing that day and your hair, you're going to be empowered that no matter what you're wearing or what you're doing, you're still going